Mildly amusing moments brought to you by Macca's.
Warshaw, it must have been a tough night at selection. You got a black eye.
Yeah, we had a good debate.
McIntosh goes back.
Oh, God. One of the worst kicks you'll ever see.
Caught this. The full whack in the spot. That's a step. He stepped himself.
Yeah.
Let's head back to GMHBA Stadium. Two of the best in the business.
Thanks me, yes, here at the GWS roof road to yourself. Yeah, we did too.
There's some reasonable Rascal material in there to choose from. So the players are with us. Adam Treloar from the Pies. Adam, welcome.
Thank you.
Jack Riewoldt from the Tigers.
Terry, how are you? Mark?
Very well. What,
I love that.
what was Saturday night like?
Oh, how good was it? It was... I told you guys last week. I said, and you were a bit off me.
I didn't believe you. I'll be honest, I didn't believe you.
Trust me.
I trust you a lot. But the performance, though, for a lot of people who were in my boat who didn't believe, one of it was shove it up, you blokes and girls. The other bit was who cares, that what it did for your group. Tell us what it did.
Oh, look, it's great to go away and win away from home. I suppose that's the first thing. You love winning away, and I mean, we've got our backs against the wall a little bit. We've got some injuries, some trying circumstances, and we just had a really great team performance. We had some young guys come into the side and perform really well, and we had some older guys that are still there perform really well too.
We know that. I'm not cutting you off there. Tell us, were you in the rooms before the game? Were you in the players' room? Were you allowed in or not?
Yeah, I'm a vice captain. I'm allowed in there, Robbo.
What was the messaging, without going into great detail? Was it, we're here, everyone's writing us off? Is that sort of you still use for motivation, or are we still talking X and O's on the whiteboard?
I think there's an element of probably both of those circumstances. There is I suppose, a little bit of a underdog mentality going away from home, backs against the wall, so you can draw from that. And also just instilling the belief and really saying to the guys, we know we can win this game. We've got to perform well, which we did. There's still some areas we'd like to get better at, but we played a pretty good Richmond brand of footy.
Were you in the coach's box for it?
Yeah, I sat in the coach's box. Very, very sort of quiet and don't give away too much.
What, your vice captain, you just said? You can do whatever you like.
I can't do exactly whatever I like, but I might have given out a little bit of a come on when Lynchy popped that last one through, and we sort of went a couple of goals clear with about 30 seconds to go. Yeah.
What are those days like, Adam, when it's against the odds and away?
We had a few of those last year. I know towards the latter end of the season when finals was really up for grabs for us. We had a few of those against Freo, I think the last game, Port the second last game. So, but I was sitting in the crowd, so I was one of the fans cheering, screaming my lungs out. So it's much different sitting on the other side.
How's your body? Your chance or not?
Look, I probably won't play this week, I don't think. I would have to tick off a few things from a running point of view in the back end of the week. And I think, to be honest, the fact that we play Saturday into Wednesday makes it a little bit tricky to back up, just in case I played this weekend, didn't back up for the Melbourne game. So I reckon, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I reckon we'll probably go a bit more cautious.
Have you sort of dealt with the fact that you're probably coming back through the VFL?
Well, the VFL have got the bye this weekend,
so
I'll be slogging it out probably on Punt Road on Saturday morning with a few of our other boys. So,
is there an element of just cool your jets now that that win was so important to get?
Personally, yes, because, and I spoke about this last week, when your back is against the wall and your football club's under a bit of pressure as a senior player, and as any player really, but there's I feel a large responsibility as the vice captain and nearly the oldest player at the club to get back and play and have some sort of impact on the destiny of the football club. But having a win alleviates that a little bit. It certainly doesn't put out the fire in my belly to get back and perform, but it makes it simmer a little bit.
I haven't asked this. Who would you have given 3, 2 and 1 to?
I would have given probably Dylan Grimes 3,
He was
in the last 8 minutes. I would have given Shane Edwards probably 2, and I would have given the big fella up front 1 for the 6-pack.
These are great shots, Jack.
Yeah, I was just wrapped.
Totally swept, you know.
Yeah, absolutely wrapped. It's just we're as a group we had a great weekend. We had a really good performance at VFL level, which is vitally important, and it has been important for us. And you can see the fruits of that's been for us in guys like Jack Ross and Liam Baker and Shea Bolton coming in and playing a role and playing well. Couldn't believe the stat sheet when I looked at it at half time. Jack Ross has had 16 touches and 3 clearances.
First game of footy. Incredible.
Yeah, he's built pretty well.
No,
He's built pretty well. Funny story, I actually sat next to his sister on the plane over to myself and our fitness guy, Rob Innes, who's in rehab, taking us across. We were going across to the game, and in the afternoon, leading into the game, we sat next to a young girl and just we didn't have our Richmond gear on. We were sitting there and got to the end of the flight and she told us she was Jack Ross's sister. So I was like, well, we could have had a convo during the flight. It gave me nothing. So, but yeah, no, we had a really good team performance in the weekend, and we're wrapped for our young kids to come in and play well too.
I think off the back of that, best thing about that for the young kids is that to be able to perform like that in a hostile environment. I know Richmond's a massive club; they would have a number of fans there. But to be able to perform like that, you mentioned Ross and the young kids down there. The way they performed, because I watched that game, and my 3-2-1 would have been the exact same as Jack.
Would it really?
It would have been. Grimes had about 10 marks in that last quarter, I think it was. But yeah, for them to be able to perform in such a hostile environment and get the job done after the club's been under a lot of pressure was first class.
Will Brisbane be a hostile night for Collingwood? Maybe Beams as well?
Yeah, well, maybe for Beamsy. I reckon Beamsy. It's only natural being a part of the club and then leaving. It's just a natural thing. It happened with me when I was at the Giants. But no, I think my games I've had at the Lions, again, very lucky being a part of Collingwood, like Richmond, we get a lot of fans all over the place. I think the only real hostile environment I've ever been a part of was the last year's first final against the Eagles over there. Now, that was insane. But I think hopefully it's going to be
insane.
I think it's going to be evenly matched. I think hopefully the crowd is going to be evenly, maybe a little bit Brisbane way.
I think you're going to be surprised. They're coming back, this football club, and the fans are coming. I think it's going to be a sellout, like their first sellout.
First time in about 8-9 years, I think it was.
A sellout. So Brisbane, when it was rocking, you would have played. No, you started too late.
No, I probably might have just missed it. The one thing I think that goes in Brisbane's favour, and sorry to say this, Adam, is playing at night up there in Queensland is so tricky. And I know they train at night for that specific reason. I reckon that the elements of the Gabba, and I know Adam's saying that Collingwood fans travel well and they're all around the country, but it's going to be a really good spectacle. I'm looking forward to that game.
Did you play at night last year? That cracking game was like 20 goals to 19.
Yep, did. That wasn't too exciting because we wanted to get the job done earlier than that. But I did play part of that game. It gets really dewy. It gets really slippery up there, and I think it's meant to be 29 degrees on Thursday when we're up there. So we're going to expect it to be slippery, dewy, a lot of numbers around the ball. Exciting brand of footy.
Did you see Chris Mayne today?
Yeah, I've briefly seen him today. Walking in. No, Mayne is his optimistic self. He's very confident that he's going to get back in the matter of time. He's very diligent with his recovery. He attacks his recovery better than ever. He's going to be around the club as a leader. He's going to be missed, but the beauty of a footy club is having players come in, like Richmond, have young guys come in. We've got players come in, and the expectation is to play their role and get that job done.
What were you thinking halfway through the first quarter on Friday night? It would have been noiseless,
were we
wouldn't it?
winning or losing?
Well, I don't know. It would have been 3 points to 1.
It was a soccer scoreline, I think, Robbo.
Did you?
I don't really think about the state of the game really whilst I'm playing. I'm just worrying about playing my role, getting the job done, and worrying about it at the end of the game. I know there's been some talk around the game being boring and whatnot, but you know what? We got the 4 points. We won the game, so we're happy.
It wasn't being boring in a sense. I mean, it's just too flippant to say that. With the new rules, the 6-6-6, the West Coast Eagles playing possession football last year. Everyone copies the leaders. It was a game where it was just a perfect storm of everything. And Collingwood, short, Dogs, short. And people, Jared called the game. And I asked him last night, I said, how do you call a game like that? He goes, I don't know. No.
It was
nothing happens.
Yeah, the first quarter was uneventful.
Well, I think the important thing is for a good team, you got to be able to get that balance right between offence and defence. And I think on the weekend for our game, we weren't being aggressive with our offence. Like you said.
Overreaction, Buck said during the week.
Yeah.
Going too...
Yeah, we were too stagnant. We were going sideways. We weren't taking ground. The things with West Coast, when they're so good, they're taking ground whilst they're chipping the ball around. We were sort of just chipping it sideways, not really taking the game on. And I think a good team has good balance between their offence and defence. I think they know when to be ultra attacking and they know when to be ultra defensive. Yeah.
Do you have any theories as to why scoring's down for the time being?
Yeah, uncontested marks are through the roof at the moment because I think sides are thinking they want other sides to defend as much as possible, so let's try and keep the ball off them. I think interchange is probably affected at the moment. The only time you can really interchange now is after a goal, and with low scoring games, it's hard to reach your interchange cap.
Yeah.
And I still think that players are feeling out the rules. The kick-in rule probably hasn't worked. I don't think we've seen many offensive goals, and prior to that we saw a lot of defensive goals when you started to kick from the square or sides were able to set up. So it's in a bit of a
holding pattern,
a flux at the moment. I think it's just sort of like, is it which way are we going to go? I think sides are still sort of feeling their way out into the season and trying to find the pattern of play that suits them.
Do you think we'll get a burst of creativity soon?
Well, I hope so, because I think during the winter months, obviously the conditions change a little bit and scoring has a tendency to go down, which is a little bit of an alarm bell for the AFL. But I think sides will start to play a little bit more braver footy and realise that to beat a good defence, you've got to have a bit of a daring offence.
You ever flopped?
Me?
Yep.
Oh, countlessly, I think. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I was the director. I could push that button where you jumped in the air and you went like that.
I've had some highlights over the years, Robbo. There's probably one or two where I might have dived down and tried to get a free kick.
What about you?
Well, I don't take too many marks, so I don't really flop in the air, but...
you can flop at stoppage.
You're talking about Ben Brown, of course.
No, I think, sometimes if you're not having the best day or if you're struggling to get a kick, you try and maybe sometimes play for a free kick if there's a stoppage or whatnot, but... it happens all the time.
That's a free kick.
I think that's a free kick.
Yeah, it was.
Because he's holding him.
This one?
Obviously, there's a little bit of an exaggeration there, but the umpire called a free kick. I reckon Jack has a different view.
What do you think, Jack?
Free kick, Jack, or not?
Probably not, but I think I'll come to Ben Brown's defence here. If you're jumping up in the air and someone pushes you, it can put you off balance. That might have been maybe up for a Golden Globe.
But isn't the rule in the ruck you can't put your arm out?
Yeah, no one knows the rules in the ruck, mate. Well, that is one thing that is the greyest area of AFL football is free kicks in the ruck.
But I don't think you're allowed to put your arm up. So
so if you're in the centre and a free kick is called, do you know? That was a free kick, or do you go?
No, mate,
You've only got to look at the ruck's faces, and they have a bewildering look. I can just picture Max going right now, giving away a free kick. He's like giving it that one there.
We can run this past Todd Goldstein in a minute. Hey, you're brave tonight. You're taking on the Rascal.
I am.
Really?
It's not Jack's Rascal anymore for this week. Adam's Rascal. Obviously, you haven't been playing for a couple of weeks, mate.
Yeah, mate. Is this coming to me?
Yes,
mate. You're going to rascal me after giving a Collingwood player the best player in the competition 2 weeks ago.
This is you're the travelling vice captain. Yep. You're with the team.
Yep.
Food after the game. Obviously, they've busted their backside.
Yep.
Got a great win on the weekend. They've done their all to win the game. Have a look at you in the background here. Can you just run me through what you're doing?
What are you doing?
Whole box of pizza. Look it at the camera.
That's a bite-sized pizza. There might be a couple of slices.
Did you leave any for the players?
No, there was a few more. Funny story to that. Jack Higgins actually unplugged the pizza oven so that he could plug the music in post the game. So the pizzas were going cold while we listened to the tunes.
There you go, mate. Rascal of the week for you.
Thank you.
We've got a special guest here tonight, and you're both on duty here. So Hamish Kane, who's a 7-year-old, who's here with his mum and dad, Matt and Kim, and his brothers, Mason and Josh. So when he was a young fella, he lost a leg below the knee to infantile.
Take that over, Jack.
This one's here. We might open it back up, eh?
Barracks for the Pies.
My signature's on it.
Loves Adam Treloar.
Jack's isn't on it.
Doesn't know who Jack Riewoldt is.
So we've got the signed footy, and for all the boys to share, we've got the footy cards. the Select Footy Stars
Who's
and
that?
the AFL Team 2019 cards.
Who's the other one?
Well done.
Satisfy the collectors and the kids. And with the Good Friday appeal, it's a great reminder. There's a whole set of kids across our community who come into our lives over the next few days. Hamish Kane, it's great to meet you, Hamish. Good on you. Good luck with what's to come. On Good Friday, in the game, centred around the appeal, it's North and Essendon, and Todd Goldstein and Zach Merritt are about to join us.